In the United States this weekend, President Donald Trump notched up his first 100 days in office. And many would argue that so far he's lived up to expectations. But the rise of Donald Trump has also seen a disturbing surge in the number of hate groups and hate crimes. There is now a genuine fear that we're witnessing a new era of racism-fuelled hate, and that ignoring it and those who perpetrate hate will do nothing to stop it. I've been summoned to this budget motel along a Californian freeway for an interview like no other. Hi, how are you? You're security? Yeah, okay. It started with a security search. So you're just checking for...
We're just looking.
Apparently it's to assure those I'm meeting that this isn't an ambush. I would have checked the pillows too, frankly. God knows what's in there. These are members of the Orange County Ku Klux Klan, men who now feel empowered to pop on their robes and voice their views like never before.
This is Steve, California Exalted Cyclops. This is Bats, our head of security. And my name is Will Quigg. I am the California Grand Dragon.
It feels like a B-grade comedy.
Just say no to drugs. Cut.
But it's not. The cause of what you do stand for ultimately says that there is no place for black people in your America.
Cut.
These men are part of a hate group, and like so many others like them, they feel free to speak out, all because of Donald Trump.
With Donald Trump as our president, it has given the white people, especially the white Christian people, a voice.
The 45th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
Mr. Taylor, did you cheer when Donald Trump became president?
Yes, I was very pleased compared to the alternative. He was a vast improvement.
Jared Taylor might seem to be the exact opposite to those who wear hoods and robes, but he's not. His extreme views would have him pretty much cut from the same cloth. You are the man in the suit and tie who presents just like a Klansman, ultimately.
What I speak about is the truth as I see it. Hello, I'm Jared Taylor.
The Yale University graduate runs the white nationalist organization American Renaissance.
That is Donald Trump's great achievement, to have been the standard bearer, even if unconsciously, of white interests.
For him, Donald Trump's victory was personal, having actively pushed for his election.
We need smart, well-educated white people who will assimilate to our culture. Vote Trump.
How do you think your words make a black African American feel?
I speak the truth, no matter who is listening. And
so you don't care how they feel?
Don't they care about how I might feel about my country being turned into a third world extension?
You aren't under threat, really.
Of course we are.
Okay, so you're coming from a place of fear.
I'm coming from the fact that I do not wish to become a minority.
And that is the fear I encounter out here in America's Midwest.
KKK Radio will be broadcasting from beautiful Harrison, Arkansas, and bringing you the best in white news and entertainment.
This is Klan country, where white supremacy is seen on billboards and heard on KKK radio.
KKK Radio.
And is home to the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. So let me ask you this, do you see black people as your equals?
I don't see the whole idea of equal is ridiculous.
Black people and white, we're all human beings, so they're not equal?
I see them equal.
But you wouldn't want a black man to marry your daughter?
Of course not.
Because?
Well, because it'll be genocide against my people.
The Knights Party office is here, which is over to your left. And we have a library and classrooms and things like that for students.
So you're really building, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Pastor Thomas Robb and his daughter Rachel Pendergraft are modern-day KKK, a seemingly everyday friendly family. heading up an organisation with a damning history of racism, murder and violence.
Welcome to White Resistance News. I'm Thomas Robb.
Good day, everyone. I'm Rachel Pendergraft.
Pastor Rob and Rachel are the stars of their own TV show, which twice a day sees them spruik racial segregation from their makeshift studio.
That there is a war against white people in this country at the
A father-daughter team buoyed in the belief they are not alone.
Even in Australia, the political party known as One Nation seems to be gaining in popularity.
Popularity is indeed what the pastor and his daughter are currently feeling. And they too put that down to Donald Trump.
He helped legitimize this message.
In what way,
gave
though?
people the courage to say, hey, look, if he's able to become president of the United States, then that gives me the courage to tell my friends and my neighbors that, hey, I believe this and I believe that, and you can't call me names because the man who holds the highest office in the land, he shares the same concerns I do.
I do think he has awakened a consciousness among some people. He's awakened with them the courage to perhaps be more bold.
Right now, though, you think you have the best chance of preserving the white race with Donald Trump?
I think that his programs he wants to implement is helpful to our people, whether he's conscious of it or not.
Donald Trump may not have intended it to be, but hate groups very quickly saw him as their shining light. And not just because of his immigration policies, more particularly because he was in no rush to denounce them. White supremacists interpreted that as a wink and a nod that Donald Trump was on their side.
The Islamic Center was intentionally targeted.
Last year, anti-Muslim hate groups tripled.
His attack was racially motivated.
And the FBI's latest figures show hate crimes against Muslims and blacks have surged. What defines a hate group?
I think it boils down to us versus them. Anytime that you're seeing the world in this binary where there's an in-group and an out-group, whether or not you actually use the word hate, that's kind of the recipe for hate, is to disconnect yourself from other human beings.
We must secure the existence of our race and the future of white children.
Arno Michaelis understands better than most what it's like to hate. He was a founding member of the world's largest racist skinhead group.
The narrative of saving the white race, that was our excuse for everything. We convinced ourselves that going out in the streets and just beating people up at random was striking a blow for the white race.
Even if it was a fellow white human being.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's really the best antidote is to say, like, hey, we're all in this together. We need to help each other out.
But when he became a father, Arno saw the world through different eyes. He left the group and found a new purpose as an anti-violence activist. Hate comes in many forms.
Right.
But black separatists, Ku Klux Klan. But despite his best efforts, hate groups continue to rise. And a map produced by the Southern Poverty Law Center in America shows by just how much. It takes my breath away, actually. It just seems that the country is littered with groups of people who have some hatred in their heart.
Right. Littered's a good word. And thinking about this, I mean, every one of these dots is a group of people who feel the need to organize.
Yes.
Around the idea of hating other people.
Hate groups often refute the claim that they hate.
Oh, yeah.
What would you say to that?
When I was in hate groups, I would say I absolutely hate, but I hate because I love my race so much.
And fear is the initial driver. So what is the fear of?
I think it's essentially a fear of change, which is a really common aspect of the human condition.
That fear of change is what drives Jared Taylor. He uses his website to make debunked science claims that whites are intellectually smarter than blacks and opposes interracial relationships.
I believe in complete freedom of association. If people wish to do that, so be it. I don't want it for me, and I don't want it for my children.
But also in stating that, you are disseminating this information as to why you don't want that. And in the process, you're putting people down.
What about...
You are being racially discriminatory towards other people when you say what I don't want for me is based on your IQ is lower, you live in a different way, you will start muddying the waters with white people. That is the way in which it seeps under the door and becomes hate.
So I'm not supposed to express my preferences.
I'm
not supposed to... Well, thank you.
It's the way in which you do it, and you know it.
I express it as best I can.
You are a divider. You are a hater.
A hater. Look, Elizabeth, have I said anything at all that suggests I hate anyone?
In such lovely terms, you are disseminating the hate conversation.
You really understand nothing. You really understand nothing. I'm disappointed in you.
I'm okay with your disappointment. Human beings don't come first to you. Colour seems to come first to you.
If I believe that East Asians are smarter than whites, I shouldn't talk about that because talking about that promotes hate?
Trust me, we have had hate towards Asians as well in our country. And it is very easy to create hate.
I wonder why.
Why do you say that?
Because we are a tribal species.
While we may be a nation divided on policies, we are a country that stands united in condemning hate and evil in all of its very ugly forms.
Active shooter, multiple people down.
Since becoming president, Donald Trump has made a point of condemning hate crimes. It comes in the wake of one of the country's most shocking massacres.
Mr. Roof is charged with 9 counts of murder.
This year, 22-year-old Dylan Roof was the first federal defendant to be sentenced to death for a hate crime after shooting dead 9 black parishioners. He did so after reading online racist propaganda.
Somebody had to do something because, black people are killing white people every day on the streets.
One website Dylan Roof took an interest in was that of the Council of Conservative Citizens, peddling misleading information about the number of whites killed by blacks. Jared Taylor was its spokesperson. But he rejects any claim that what Dylan Roof read was deceptive. He was reading white supremacist propaganda, which you are across, and I know you are across.
Elizabeth,
in essence, that's how you are seen.
You really are misunderstanding the situation. He was this drug-addled, crazy, complete misfit white guy, and what he did was absolutely abominable. But what set him over the edge was discovering the fact that what he'd been told all his life about race and crime in the United States by the major media, by people like yourself, was wrong.
He should have never went to a church, but I would have had no problem with him going to LA or Detroit, where the Negro race are selling drugs to not only their people, but our white Christian children. If he would have went and shot them, I'm not saying he should have, but if he would have, that would have been better than shooting Negroes in church.
So you're not...
Because you're getting a job done. You're cleaning up trash.
In many respects, then you're promoting violence when you say that.
No. I said it would have been better. We do not condone any type of violence.
Around the world, the disturbing sound of hate seems only to be getting louder. In America, it will be up to Donald Trump to quell that voice and to unite his people, even though so many white supremacists are his supporters.
There is something about race that is part of identity and that it's legitimate and that we must, while we have the chance, seize the opportunity to pursue our own destiny and not be submerged by people who are unlike ourselves.
This is your life mission, almost.
Well, it's what I have chosen to do. I consider it my duty.
Yes, hate groups are growing, but I believe that as a people, as a human race, I think that we're better than that, and I think ultimately things will work themselves out.